day, Drama Llamas. Today we're going to be talking about creating character through GOTE and AMASH. These are a more higher level than Theater 1 to help you better understand a character. So let's get started, shall we? First of all, what is GOTE? You're like, what is this GOTE and AMASH? Well, it represents a basic method for approaching an acting role, which the GOTE stands for Goal, Obstacle, Tactic, and Expectation. First, we're going to start with goal. Goal is a character's principal quest. They want something. It is what they are going for. It's also known as their victory, their objective, their want, their intent, their action, or their purpose. So, if someone says, what is your character's objective? It's the same thing as the goal. Those are the most two common ones that you'll hear. The goal should be something quite specific and outgoing. It shouldn't be just like, I want that drink. Now, that could be a very simple something in your scene that they want, but we want to be more specific. So, I want self-fulfillment. That is too broad. So that would be wrong goal. So, like in Romeo and Juliet, Juliet's goal is, I want to marry Romeo. That is her goal. That is a correct one. You see how very specific it is. The more specific, the better. Next is O for obstacle. Obstacle is what makes achieving goals difficult. Also can stand for others, as in others working or against your goal. The struggle to overcome obstacles, particularly when those obstacles are other persons and other persons' pursuits of their goals, creates much of the dynamic of acting and the work of acting. So every character has a goal, and whether that goal is to help your goal, or is incongruent with your goal, or is opposite of your goal, that is creating the dynamic on stage. Good drama has conflict. So when someone has something that is opposite of what you want, you two fighting to get what you want is an obstacle for both of you, and it creates great conflict. The struggle to overcome obstacles on stage should make you sweat mentally, emotionally, and or physically. So let me give you a super simplified example of goal and obstacle. So your character wants to get through a door. That is their goal. I want to get through that door. Their obstacles, you will have multiple as a character. One of their obstacles is the door's lock. Okay, well maybe they unlock the door. Then maybe the next obstacle is that there's something heavy on the other side of the door. That is an obstacle. Those are two obstacles to get that one goal. Those are very generic, but I just wanted to give you a simplified version so you could better understand it. There are certain questions you can ask to help you understand your goal and your obstacle. Well, first is obviously, what is my goal? And then the second is, who is or are the other person or persons who affect me gaining it? How can they help me? How can they hurt me? And how are they my obstacle? You're gonna have obstacles as a character. To say that you don't have it, then you would be wrong. Sorry. 3. How can I demand, induce, encourage their help? How can I get other people to give me the help I want to achieve my goal? 4. How can I overcome the obstacle they pose? So if they're bringing an obstacle, how can I overcome it? And 5. What should my tactics be? So we're going to go over and we're going to talk next about tactics so you can better understand, because the T in GOAT is tactics. Tactics are trying to achieve goals. Through them makes acting more real. Basically, you have your goal, you have your obstacle, like an obstacle course, and you have tactics trying to overcome that obstacle. It can be divided between those that threaten and those that induce. These are two different types of tactics. Tactics are verbs. You do tactics. They're not passive. So here's some examples. So like abolish. You're going to abolish something to get that out of the way for your goal. Maybe you're going to baby someone to get them to do what you want. Maybe you beg, belittle, or maybe you're charming. Maybe you conceal something so you can get what you want. Maybe you enchant someone, you force them to do it. You help them, so they help you maybe? You mimic, you nag. There are so many verbs. If you want to find good verbs for acting, you can go online and type in acting verbs, and it will help you so much. But tactics should be verbs. You do tactics. E stands for expectation. Expectation gives tone, spring, and excitement to the dramatic pursuit of goals and quest for victory. Expectation is your driving force. It is not that your character just wants or desires something. People have all sorts of petty wants and desires that are rarely worth dramatizing. So it's something that your character really wants. You know, just because you want a brand new pair of shoes doesn't make it a whole play. You notice that a lot of plays are more serious as far as like the content, the goals. Though it may be done in a comedic way, like in comedies, it is something bigger than just like, oh, I want to brush my teeth. Those are not well-known plays. Characters who are excited and enthusiastic about their eventual success, characters who deep in their heart are sure, even mistakenly sure, that they will win in the end. Characters need to go for it. These people aren't sort of batting at their goals like a cat bats at something. They're going for it. Characters go for their goals. Doesn't mean they're like in your face, I want this, I want this, I want this, but they go for their goals. So, you figured out what is my like motivation. Now we gotta figure out like who this character is through another acronym called AMASH. This is something me and a couple students came up with a couple of years ago. AMASH represents a basic method for approaching understanding who your character is. AMASH stands for Age, Morals, Appearance, Sound, and History. The first A is for age. The age of your character is important to how you perform the character. So I've got a picture of a young man. Maybe he's preteens, mid-adults, middle age, and older. And not gonna say elderly, but older age. The way you play this man at these 4 different ages should look different. Think about how you were as a kid when you were 5 as opposed to right now, and how different you as a person are. That should be reflected when you're thinking about performance. M stands for morals. Morals are what they think is right or wrong. It could be religious. It could be like, this is good and this is bad. I always say, a bad guy never thinks he's the bad guy. He thinks he's doing what is right. So think about that when you're performing a character, what they think is right and what is wrong. And, it could be something from their religious background or not, or they're just their sense of justice. A is for appearance. Appearance, not how you as a person look, but what the character looks like affects your performance. So this is the physicality and the costume and the makeup that you put on that reflects how this character is. We probably are most likely never 100% playing ourselves. So you've got to think about that when you are performing a character. How do I physically move, walk, stand, sit, use my hands? That helps me understand and helps the audience understand who this character is. What do they wear? How do they wear their hair? Etc. S stands for sound. Sound. How your character speaks. Their vocal pitch. Is they really high-pitched or are they really low-pitched? Do they have an accent or a dialect? Are they British? Or Australian eye? Or they Texan? What kind of accent they have? Their tempo in which they talk. All of these things affect how you perform a character. And it's very important that you think about that as you are rehearsing. Don't try to put an accent in last minute. Accents and dialects are very hard. We can go more over that in another video about vocals. But let's move on. And H stands for history. History is the character's past that currently affects them. This is their backstory. Go back, read your script, and think about it. Think about where information is given and what information is not given, and fill in the blanks. I would say a great idea is to write a backstory for your character. Talk about where they were born, their family, how they were raised, and there are lots of questions and great places to go online to help you figure this out as well. How do we get our characters GOTE and AMASH? First thing you gotta do is study the script. Most of your GOTE aspects are only implied in a script by the script, by what is written in the stage directions and what is said by others and what the character says. So you kind of have to take what you have and read between the lines. The second thing you need to do is use your imagination. Think about when you were a kid and how much you used your imagination, and try to pull that imagination back out for you as a performer. Determine which implications from the script are the correct ones and is highly subjective and imaginative task. Use that imagination. Here is some basic questions that you can answer as a way to figure out your GOTE and your AMASH. Your character's name, first, last, middle, whatever they have, their sex, their gender, their age, their marital status and history, their education level, their economical and social status in the play and like in life, and etc. Their goal, what do they really want? When do I want it? Others, or obstacles. From whom in this play do I want it? Who in the play can help me? Who in the play can hurt me? Who is an obstacle? Why? What are my deepest fears? Tactics, how can I get what I want? How and whom can I threaten? How and whom can I induce? An expectation, why do I expect to get it? Why does it excite me? What will I do when I get what I want? You may answer impressionally or enlist, but answer vividly, not academically. Don't make this basic answers. Think things through. Write a lot. It really will help your mind figure out who your character is so that you can better portray it on stage, and that us as the audience can really understand and really feel for your character, whomever your character is. Well, guys, that's it for creating characters through GOTE and AMASH. Go out and use GOTE and AMASH on your next character that you perform, whether it's a whole play, a scene, a song for your musical class, whatever. Use GOTE and AMASH to better your craft. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. See you later.